Hello, everyone. Bright Suns.
Bright Suns. Oh, hey, Daryl. Welcome in.
Hey.
You're a
uh,
spoiler, Daryl.
I'm about to say, yeah, we we're still on. We're a bit behind on our
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mando streams. Yeah, so we missed a couple weeks from traveling
Yeah,
on a Thursday, and then the next Thursday was Thanksgiving, and so yeah, the name reveal hasn't happened yet, but it'll
in our
be in.
universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it'll be in next week's
But,
episode. So
but
tune in to hear us discuss
yeah,
Grogu.
yeah. Since it's out there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's good to be
it
out there, Daryl. Yeah, we're open to, we're talking primarily still. We're a couple weeks behind, but yeah, since it's out there, we can go ahead and reference the newest. Gosh, hey Tina,
hey
bright
Tina,
suns
welcome
to
in.
you, bright suns to you, my friend. Um, yeah, we're open to to talking about some pieces from the newer episodes, and I'll have to say, guys, oh wow, the last three episodes have been phenomenal. I
Oh,
just
I mean, the only one that to this point, people might not have been as big a fan of was the passenger episode where
mhm,
Mando is on that ice planet and has to fight the
right,
ice spiders and
right,
everything. So,
yeah.
but every other episode has just been just
Oh
tremendous. It's
yeah,
been fantastic. It's been uh, it's been insane. So
right, right. Now there's a good word use right there. That's that is excellent word use, Tina. I love it.
uh-huh. So yeah, this week, yeah, bright suns again to everyone. Good to see you,
Thank you.
BDF and
Yeah,
Daryl, Cersei, and Tina. Thanks for
yeah,
being here.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
we're talking about the Siege episode,
Mhm.
so chapter 12. Um, as you can recall, Mando is coming off of Trask, where the Mon Cala attempted to basically
Mhm.
duct tape the Razor Crest back together.
Right.
Um, it looked like it was held together with a bunch of string, so not the
Yeah,
best,
yeah.
not the
I think
best situation.
it wasn't as good as duct tape. It looked like a ball of twine to me. It was
Yeah,
just
pretty
like
much.
you'd wrap a present and take or wrap a package and take it to the post office. Um,
Yeah. So the Razor Crest is pretty beaten up, and Mando decides, we're we can't make it to Corvus, so
yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
make a stop and see some old friends at Navarro.
There you go.
But the opening of this episode, the siege, is really really funny, and basically any
Yes.
parent that has ever tried to explain to their kid how to do something knows exactly what Mando
That's
is
right.
is going through, trying to
They,
explain to the child.
yeah,
Uh,
the opening sequence here that they've done a lot towards the development of the relationship between Mando and the child
yes.
and the development of the child's personality and what have you. And I think
Hmm.
they're building that relationship, and up which makes upcoming events more
Yeah.
difficult to to deal with. But in this particular episode, it is really cute where
Yeah.
he's really trying to to direct the child. Put the red wire where the blue wire came, but keep them apart. And then he just it's really funny. That's
Oh,
really
it's hilarious. Yeah, he's holding both the wires, and Mando's keeps trying to explain it to him. And yeah, any parent that has ever tried to explain to their kid how to do something, you know exactly how this goes.
aloha, Elena.
Aloha, Elena. Welcome in. Yeah, Daryl. Yeah, so that's a bit of news that has dropped that's Mandalorian related. Is the Mandalorian is a playable skin in Fortnite right now this
Oh,
season.
seriously? Oh,
Hmm.
wow. I wonder if
He's
Adam.
I told Adam about it, and I sent Adam a picture of the Mandalorian skin in Fortnite. But
Oh, wow.
the level 1 of the battle pass in the current season of Fortnite gives you the Mando skin, and as you work your way through the battle pass, so he starts off wearing his regular armor that he does in the show, and as you work your way through the battle pass, you earn Beskar pieces.
Sweet.
So by the time you get to level 100, he'll be all Beskar covered. And I also think you get the child as a back bling. So the child will be in his pram on Mando's back.
Oh, that is so cool.
So pretty neat. Yeah, a little bit of Mandalorian related news, but not directly related to the show. So
thanks for bringing that up, Daryl. Actually,
yeah.
Hey, Sean. Oh, hey, I am looking for a package from you. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting it. I really appreciate
a little bit of magical mail.
Yeah, we got some magical mail coming from Mickey Sightings, and I really appreciate you guys taking care of that for me. So I'll hold that little surprise, and we'll open that on a stream.
Yeah, it's also the you brought that up. Russ says, "What in the world, Russ? Hey, welcome in, Russ." He says, "I want to see Don play Fortnite."
I have never. I have outside of let's see. I've played Pong.
You played Tetris. You played some Tetris in your day.
I've played some Tetris in my day, but I just never have really gotten into. And I played on the Wii. I like the Wii.
Wii Sports is very friendly to all ages.
It is.
And Wii Sports Resort, also another great game for all ages.
Resort, I really enjoy it. I just never have really gotten into it. Now, my kids, oh my gosh, all my 3 sons are really into games, and so I love to watch them play, but I've never gotten into it. So
yeah.
But yeah, do you play, Russ? It's good to see you, by the way. Anyway, yeah. The first scene there is really cute.
Oh, it's hilarious. It really reminds you of Guardians of the Galaxy with totally. Volume 2 with Rocket and Groot trying to explain what to do to not set the bomb off immediately.
Yeah, that's what came to mind with me was that. It's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of really cute memes. I'm sure there are a lot of cute memes up,
I guarantee it.
From this, I'd love to see someone need to do a search on them.
Yeah,
so really cute.
Of course, the child ends up touching together the 2 wires, even though they're oppositely charged, and he gets electrocuted, and there's a puff of smoke, and Mando says, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Well, it was worth a shot."
Right.
The child lets out a little cough, and he whines a little bit. Now, something to note here. So after the really funny scene with the child trying to help fix the Razor Crest, Mando and the child are both enjoying some soup, and we remember in the last episode we met. So we're ways behind the current episode, but we met Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians in the previous episode. But we still see Mando drinking the soup, barely lifting up his helmet to drink the soup out. And Grogu, the child, kind of looks underneath, like he's trying to see him a little bit. Yeah. But the Razor Crest is beaten up. So it is an interesting note that Mando is still clinging to the Mandalorian teachers as he learned through the Watch. But they head to Navarro.
Yeah, and I can completely understand. Right there, a little underdeveloped for 50 years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Yoda was what? He was 900 or so. Yeah. Whenever he finally faded into the Force.
What's up? Howdy, y'all. Texas Family Camping just popped in. Thanks for thanks for coming in, guys. This is Texas Family Camping is kind of a new a channel for us. Some new friends, and have really quality videos, guys. If y'all and I love it, of course, because they're fellow Texans. But y'all get over there and check out their videos. Very nicely edited. really nice content. And so we really appreciate getting to know you guys.
Yeah.
Time and get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, the quote from Yoda is, when 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
There you go. Is that it?
So yeah, so the child's just 50, but
yeah, he's a toddler. He's little fella.
But yeah, the Razor Crest can't make it to Corvus, which is where they're going to go to meet Ahsoka Tano. So they've got to make a pit stop to get the Razor Crest fixed, and they get to see old friends on the way. And the next scene it cuts to is there are some creatures arguing over their share of it. Seems like they probably stole this stuff. It looks like they're about to eat a ferret-looking creature.
Yeah. Now this is the same species of creature that gave Luke some guff in the
cantina. Yeah.
This is the same kind of same species. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what species they are. I didn't look it up, but
I didn't either.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're about to got like a butcher knife ready to chop into this little ferret-looking creature, and looks like they've kind of taken over where the Mandalorian covert used to be. You can see the armor smelt there in that room and everything. So looks like they've inhabited it, and then all of a sudden their party gets interrupted by none other than the new marshal of Navarro,
Cara Dune.
Yeah, Cara Dune.
Yeah, you are in deep trouble. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's at least 5 of them in the room for sure. And she just takes them out. They hear a noise. One of them goes out to check, and then she tackles him and uses him basically as a shield to protect herself. And she breaks out some of those UFC moves again, which is a nod to her, the real actor Gina Carano's background.
Yeah, they are no match for Cara at all. She's a force to be reckoned with. Totally. I love her character.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. She dispatches all of them. It's a fire otter. Oh, okay, so that's what those were.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, I remembered seeing those, but I didn't make the connection that those were the same creature.
Yeah, that's right, and I didn't either. Thanks.
Yeah, so thanks.
So they can take the heat.
Yeah. So yeah, the Cara Dune ends up whooping everybody. Hits one of them over the head with the glass thing, and a very very much kind of brawler style, and takes out the last one, just pulls out the blaster and blasts the last one that pops up as a threat. And she saves the little ferret fire otter little creature, and he's really appreciative, and it's cute. And she ends up feeding him, and then she says, I've got to return this stuff to their owners. So
and of course, when she feeds him, that she's totally has a friend for life. It's if you feed a stray cat, if you give a cat some food, guess what? You just got a cat.
Yeah.
And Daryl, I have no idea what plans they had for the fire water, but it wasn't good. But I probably should tell that story. I'll just say my mother was a total country girl. She came through the Depression, and so she could dispatch a fresh squirrel. My uncles used to hunt, and my mother was a hunter herself. She could dispatch a squirrel and get him ready for the pop pretty quick, and that's kind of what I figure this fire otter's fate was going to be. I won't go into details, but it's not good.
Yeah. But the next scene that it cuts to is the Razor Crest coming in to land on Navarro, and it's like there are pieces on the side kind of shuddering, and he comes in for the landing, and they have to jump off of the dock, cargo bay
the
dock.
Cargo hatch won't even come down.
And it only.
Yeah, I think we have a lot in common there, Tina.
Yeah. But Grief, automatic, says right off the bat, looks like someone could use some repairs. It's the Razor Crest is just beaten to bits.
Yeah, isn't it great? Isn't it great to see Kara and Apollo there?
Oh yeah, it was.
The first comment you had was Grandpa Creed.
Grandpa Creed, yeah, Grandpa Grief.
Yeah, I totally.
But yeah, that's a note too. Is that we see him reunite and they're shake hands and everything, and Mando ask if his credit's still good here. It is so funny because the first thing you notice is Grief's appearance is different as he and Kara walk up to the Razor Crest. He's got kind of a salt and pepper goatee and a little bit of hair coming in on the sides too, and then he's wearing he looks very diplomatic in his outfit. He's got some robes.
He's very respectable looking.
Yes, he is. And I thought that was very different. He's gone from essentially, being like head of the bounty hunter guild to like being a diplomat and overseeing Navarro.
He has. So he's definitely changed hats.
His looks have changed with the role.
Well, so has Kara. They kind of got respectable. And at one point, Mando, makes that comment to her as well. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. And so, they meet up, and the Razor Crest needs repairs. Grief says, I'll put my two best guys on it. The other thing, too, that made me think Grandpa Grief was when he picks up the child and he says, has Mando been taking good care of you? And then he looks at Mando and says, have you been taking good care of him? And it's just such a cute moment. And it really cracked me up to see, Grief reunited with the child, and, they make their way into Navarro. And there's just a quick little snippet, but there's one of the two maintenance guys that went to go work, repairmen that went to go work on the Razor Crest, looks at Mando and he's, to make sure he's not looking. And that is always a nod ahead.
Always foreshadowing.
Things to come.
My freshman English class teacher and literature teacher would call that foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And,
welcome in, Jeff. Good to see you.
Not to Miss Sanders.
Yeah.
Best literature teacher in the world.
And they make their way through Navarro, and Navarro is a bustling place. It is completely
changed.
Yeah. It's gone from a hive of bounty hunters and Imperial troops to being full of regular citizens. It's a bustling place. Yeah.
Commerce, traders. You can see, people in the marketplace trading and selling. So you can see how Navarro has changed since the empire was ousted, and what freedom will do, for a town. And without that iron rule of the empire, you have they walk into what used to be now was that the clients.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was where where Mando had originally met the client, and the client was blasted with that all the client and all the troopers in the room were taken out by Moff Gideon and his forces, shot through that window. And so that had been converted, this place that had been used for insidious purposes had been converted all the way into a school. And if that's not, with a bunch of kids, and if that's not the biggest, transition of in use of a space, it shows how far the planet's come in a really short time.
It is, and it's really poignant, guys. Yeah. That's the difference between rule of a corrupt, iron-fisted, occupiers or government, and freedom. That's the difference right there.
And so there's a bunch of kids learning from what droid that looks very similar to C-3PO, same style of droid. and Grief goes,
has the little girl there that a lot of people have said that was Ray, the little girl that has the same hairdo as Ray. I don't think it was, but she's really cute. The kids are really cute. They have the the little scene there. Now Kara, assures Mando that it will be safe to leave Baby Yoda there. She, and he trusts Kara. So
Grief says you don't want to bring him where we're headed.
Right. Exactly.
Protocol droid. So he Grandpa Grief drops off Baby Yoda in one of the school chairs, and the other kids start chattering amongst themselves, and
he's so cute sitting in the chair.
He looks so it's really funny, and he looks over and sees the kid next to him. One of his classmates has what appears to be like some blue macaroons or macarons, however you say it. But he won't share with the child, and so the child.
A lot of food in Galaxy's Edge is blue. A lot of because our food is normally not blue. But very, very, you think of very few foods that are blue. So to make it look otherworldly, they just make it blue. So And
so he doesn't want to share with the child, and so the child ends up force pulling the food to himself, and it starts eating it. And the kid's really shocked by it because it was there and now it's not.
He gives him a look and he looks over and the kid's eating his macaroni. So it was really so But the little girl definitely had the hairdo and was supposed to put us in mind of Ray. Even if she wasn't any kin.
It could at least show that the hairstyle was trendy post Empire.
That's true. Very fashionable. Very fashionable.
Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on my notes here. So the next scene we cut to is the Mythrol is basically, it looks like he pretty much passes gas. Some little steam comes off his gills.
Really
whenever he sees Mando. And
there's the Mythrol. I personally,
I didn't expect that character to come back in the show.
I didn't either. So to see him back and really, the actor who plays him.
Last time we saw him, he was in Carbonite.
He was in the very first episode. He was in chapter 1 of The Mandalorian, and as the very first bounty that Mando collects before he kind of, goes a little straighter and runs into the child. But the Mythrol, the guy who plays the Mythrol is very good at that character, and which may have even contributed to why they brought him back. Because he really does a good job with that character. I did not write down the actor's name.
We had it at one point. I'm sure somebody can drop it in if they know it.
Let's see if I've got it. I may have it in my.
I was going to give a shout out to. I got this hat at GameStop real quick. Quick side note, and it's a hat that has the Yoda ears coming off of it, but it's for the child. It's got the little sweet child face on it, and the underside of the bill says the child on it too. And Wyatt loves the child, and Wyatt, he always says, "Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda."
And so I have told y'all really need to record a lot. Y'all need to take a whole bunch of clips and things, of videos and and things of him at this age, because it's really a great age. That hat's great. It's great.
So he loves Baby Yoda. So whenever we went in a GameStop and he saw the hat, he had to have it because he loves hats, just like his dad does.
Well, right, and of course, Dad was more than happy to buy him that.
Oh yeah, of course. Horatio Sands is what Russ says is the name of the Mythrol actor.
Yeah, thank you for that, Russ, because he really does a nice job. And as we see him further into this episode, he's really pretty comical. He does a really good job with that character. So
basically he's working.
It's very uncomfortable to see Mando walk in.
He's got 350 years worth of debt that he's trying to pay off, working
Yeah.
for Grief Karga. And immediately we get down to business. Grief and Kara tell Mando, "We need your help taking out an old Imperial base. It's where the troopers came from with Moff Gideon and his forces."
And we're really surprised. He lands on a planet, on a mission, and immediately is handed a problem that the locals have that he needs to help solve.
Yeah, who would have thought? Mando just getting side quests to death.
Right. He has, and I will say, I have heard some people kind of complain about that, he's doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
He always goes, but when you think about it, that's he's always trying to move the ball down the field. He's always trying to advance whatever it is that he needs to do next.
And it usually takes helping out someone else to make that happen, which is not unlike most other journeys, because they're always even in normal life. Yeah.
Cop series and things of that nature. The hero is always solving problems for the townspeople. The hero is always coming to the rescue, regardless of what the genre is in the movies or TV. That's kind of what they go with. And just for the record, I know a lot of people didn't like the Frog Lady episode. I did. I thought I love that episode. I thought that episode furthered, Mando's humanity, if you will, his compassion, what have you. Plus, I thought it was just I thought the makeup was great in that. I loved the characters. And, it doesn't always have to be a shoot 'em up. And, but we're fixing to get some shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
So, we're moving with this episode. We definitely are stepping back into the shoot 'em up. Mm-hmm. And the Star Wars feel of the Mandalorian is the feel is really stepping, back towards Star Wars because of his encounters with a more Empire.
Yeah.
Good. So definitely.
They Grief just tells them straight up. He says, they want them off the planet, and they don't want black market, people with nefarious purposes coming to salvage those weapons either. So if they just blow the whole place up, then that wipes that presence off of Navarro.
So except for this pocket, this base that they think, that Apollo thinks has the skeleton crew, if you will, just a little pocket. He thinks, we dispatch this and the whole planet is free, and we are, and boom, we become a major trade route.
Yep.
So Grief. So it's really, Grief has really turned into the city's manager, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, Grief is a leader. You see that when he leads the Bounty Hunter Guild, and now he's transitioned over leading Navarro as a free planet.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, it's really nice to see, that he's actually able to do that. The evolution, if you will, of the planet into, in such a short time. Once you get rid of the Empire and
scum and villainy.
Scum and villainy. That's what I was going for. So exactly, Tina. If the didn't have the side quest, the show would be over. Exactly. You gotta have the side quest. The hero. That's what heroes do, right?
Yeah.
They rescue people who need help.
A funny little, almost kind of throwaway comment from the Mythrol is he says, "I still can't see out of my left eye." And if you remember right, being trapped in carbonite, that's like you have trouble with vision coming out of that, because you remember that happens to Han in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, which is actually his blindness. His temporary blindness is actually what causes him to accidentally knock Boba Fett into the Sarlacc
Sarlacc pit. Yep.
Yeah. So if you guys remember that scene, it's temporary, but again, the Mythrol says he still can't see how this hasn't been so temporary, so he's still having a little problem. And Mando doesn't seem real sympathetic.
Yeah, it says if he tries to get away, let me know. But so yeah, they all load up. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's really interesting to me. The Mythrol is the useful idiot, basically. If you will. Kara, none of them have any respect for him.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny, but his character is really good, and I love that they brought him back as kind of one of Apollo. I keep calling him Apollo Creed, guys, because I love him in
Grief
Rocky.
Karga.
Grief Karga's
Carl Weathers.
flunkies. Yeah, one of Grief flunkies. So
so
they take off.
Mando agrees, it's going to take some time for the Razor Crest to get repairs. So,
he's got time on his hands.
Yeah. And so they load up in a land speeder and they head out to the base. And the dialogue between Grief and the Mythrol is really funny because he asked him where you want me to drop y'all off. And he wants to be as far away from this base as possible.
Exactly.
And he says, how about the front door?
little close for a civilian.
And the Mythrol tries the whole episode to get out of danger because he even says, he's like, oh, I dropped you off. I'll let me know and I'll come back. And Grief says, you park your gills right there until I say otherwise. And then he whines back at him and he says, I'm starting to dehydrate, boss. And so the Mythrol has to help them break into this control panel. Mando shoots up on his jetpack to go check things out up above on the kind of hangar area. And all of a sudden the stormtrooper comes falling all the way from the platform. And the Mythrol gets into the little elevator, and they get up there to where Mando is, and he's already taken out some stormtroopers, and he says, "So it's supposed to be an empty base, huh?"
Right. Yeah. The Mythrol's not going fast enough for Mando, so he goes up and takes out 3 or 4 stormtroopers, and that's really kind of a funny scene, and that's where that's their first inclination that the base is not necessarily almost abandoned. It's far from it. So, Russ, Apollo actually directed this episode. Yeah, Carl Weathers is perfect for this role. I do too. I think the dialogue is really great. I have always been a Carl Weathers fan. I think most of us are, even back from his Rocky days and from some other movies that he appeared in. But guys, if I'm not mistaken, I looked it up, and I'll have to confirm this. Jeff, how old did we say Carl Weathers is? 72, I think.
Really?
Jeff, because
get out of town.
When Jeff and I were watching this episode again, I watch it for myself, and then Jeff and I usually watch it together.
He's 72 years old. He was born in 1948.
Yeah.
January 14th, 1948. That is crazy.
I know. And I said, when he first appears on the screen there, when he meets
Welcome in, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Nice to see you.
Mom just was a guest on Bob's stream.
Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah, Carl Weathers is almost 73. Yeah, we appreciate it, Bob, if y'all want to go over there. That was a fun episode. We really appreciate it. I appreciate you not putting me on the hot seat, Bob. Oh, man. But yeah, so we were sitting there talking, and I said, man, Carl Weathers looks really great. And I got to, I thought, what, how old is Carl Weathers? Because he was really young, pretty young in the Rocky movies. And so I just looked it up, And yeah, he's almost 73 years old. Now, he looks great.
Oh, he's in great shape. My
He looks
goodness.
great. Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's kept up, his health from, and physical activity,
Right.
from the Rocky days.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he probably does. But he really looks good, and is really just a wonderful actor. And I'm sure Carl Weathers is really excited to get this role. But anyway, they enter the base, and they decide that the quickest way to get rid of this base, the whole thing, is to blow it up.
Blow it up.
So they basically overload. They need to overload the reactor, and so they
turn off the cooling lines. I mean, it's basically a base on top of a bunch of lava, and so if you turn off the cooling lines, the lava is going to come up, and it's
earth-shattering kaboom.
What is the deal with Star Wars and these long heights? These really high.
I said the same thing to Jeff when we were watching. I said, "What is it with Star Wars? What is it with these people?"
And lava,
right? And lava, yeah. Golly, I don't know, but they do seem to have a penchant for that. And they send the mithril out onto this ledge, and naturally the ledges are always about this big, with no. He says, "There's no guardrail on this."
And he's whining. He said he's scared of heights, heat, and lava.
And I'll have to say, I am too. I'm really sympathetic with the myth. I'm on the mithril side here when they send him on that ledge. Oh my gosh! And so, but he gets the job done. He balances himself, on this tiny.
He gives a nod to. He gives a nod to the mithril. Notices the Trexler Marauder speeder, which they use here in a minute to escape. And he says he could get a ton for this on the black market, and that's exactly why Grief is saying this place needs to go. And so he gets out there, and he's got the little code cylinder that so they beat up an Imperial officer and get his code cylinder, and that's how they're able to turn everything off and get into these different doors in the base. But they make their way. The next point of note is. They make their way into this room, and it turns out this base is not just a base for troops, and TIE fighters and crafts, ships. This is a secret lab of sorts, and we see what looks like something very similar. It looks awfully similar to what Snoke looked like, floating in this tank.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a transmission from Dr. Pershing saying, we got some. He doesn't refer to it as midichlorians, but he says the child has a high M count, which M would stand for midichlorians.
Yeah.
But he was only able to extract so much, but it worked well versus previous testing. Mm-hmm. But they're only able to get so much, and until they have the child back, that's all they can do at this point, pretty much.
Right. So he says that if he wants the experiments to continue, they would need access to the host.
Yeah. Which
is, of course, the child.
Yeah. And and the transmission from Dr. Pershing is only 3 days old, and he, it says, "I will not fail you again, Moff Gideon." And so, Mando thought Moff Gideon's dead. The transmission sent 3 days ago. And Mando's like, I better get out of here. I need to go make sure the child's safe.
Right.
And so he heads back.
They learn a lot in this scene. They learn, a whole lot of things that they understand now that they have a lot bigger problem than just an old abandoned base. That's, they now understand that Moff Gideon's still alive, that he is, plotting, something heinous and dire, which is what bad guys do. And so all of a sudden, they realize that they have a huge, huge problem on their hands. Mm-hmm. And boom, just like that, their direction is going to change because of this. Mando.
Kara tells Mando to jet back to Navarro to the school, make sure the child's okay, and so that leaves Grief, Kara, and the Mythrol, where they have to get their way out of the base before it blows up.
Right.
So a bunch of stormtroopers come into the room to attack them, and they take care of them all. And even the Mythrol shoots a stormtrooper. He kind of holds his gun over the table and and blasts them. But yeah, they make their way all the way. Pretty much shoot their way out to the loading bay, and Kara cranks up the Trexler Marauder ship that the Mythrol had pointed out.
And keep in mind that while all of this is happening, and they figure out that Moff Gideon has this insidious plan, and that's why he's needing. Hey Jeff.
Hey Dad.
my husband, guys, is putting up our big Christmas tree, so the show must go on here. So. But anyway, what was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought.
Let's see. They're getting the Trexel Marauder ship.
The clock is ticking here because the whole base is about to blow, and when he sets that up, they say about how long do we have? And he says about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yep.
Yeah. So keep in mind that, again, as Tina says, bye base, it's coming up really quick. And so they, not only do they have to fight their way out now, because there is a stormtrooper presence, the base is about to blow. So definitely. Russ says, hey, Jeff.
They make their way out to the kind of hangar bay area. And there are some stormtroopers that come out of an elevator to attack them. They hop into the Trexler Marauder. All three of them do, and they go. I guess take probably a less immediate route down off of the base, but the hangar door shut, and so Kara swings it around. And they drive straight off a cliff, basically, and land on the Mythrol speeder, which thankfully was there to break their fall. And so completely crushes his land speeder. But some scout troopers come and they make their way down the side of the mountain, and they're trying, some of those get blown up trying to, it's hazardous. I mean, it's not a straight shot down. There are a bunch of rocks and stuff in the way.
Yeah. Well, and the speeder is not set up for, that big a dive.
No.
And so, the Marauder I thought the Marauder was really cool.
It was awesome. It had that turret on top of it. Grief was taking care of business with it.
Oh yeah, he was. And it was, the thing that I love about this episode, and I think most Star Wars fans loved about it, was the Star Wars action in it. Yeah. We have a lot of action in this. The running stormtroopers. You realize that that there is definitely a problem, and so they have to make a run for it. And there's a lot going on there. There's some good dialogue. Kara tells,
Tina says, "You mean they're not mountain bikes, Dawn?"
Yeah. I don't think they're. I'm from the mountains, and they don't look like mountain bikes to me, Tina.
Russ says he got Return of the Jedi vibes with the speeder bikes.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it is. It's great. I love and I love that they flatten the speeder, Russ. It was the Mythrol continues to.
It's funny too, because Grief keeps making the Mythrol do things at different points in this episode by bargaining, cutting down his 350-year sentence.
The Mythrol is a flunky, basically.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. It's just really funny.
They're chased by the scout troopers, and they take care of them. Grief blasts one of them with the turret that's in the little Marauder ship that they're traveling in. One of Kara crushes one.
Grief gets on the guns, and as they're making their way. Some really good sequences there of of
great action.
Trying to take out these speeders. So really good.
One of them gets up on top of the Marauder. It's the last scout trooper, and he's got a detonator that he's about to throw in the ship. And Grief spins it around and shoots him, and he blows up. And so they take out. Hey, welcome in, Garrett. Welcome in, Amy.
Oh,
great to see y'all.
Nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
So yeah, you think, oh yeah, we're in the clear. There's a very triumphant music that plays, and then all of a sudden you see the base blows up, and then there's 4 TIE fighters that fly out of the base. Yeah, so they're not out of the woods yet.
Not even close. And Russ says that they've used TIE fighters in some interesting ways in the series. They're much more dangerous compared to the films. So, yeah, I do too. And what I've always loved about TIE fighters is the sound that they make. It's, when the TIE fighters come into the situation, it's unmistakable because of the sound that they make.
It's very distinctive.
It is. And I love the shape of them. I've just always really enjoyed the design, I guess, of the TIE fighters. They look sinister. They sound sinister. They did a really good job with those. And, again, the last time we saw a TIE fighter was when Moff Gideon, was trying to take him out. And so, this base is not abandoned. It's not even close to being abandoned. So now they've got. And the first thing I thought too, when the TIE fighters, because Grief says, they say, oh, we did it.
Yeah.
The Myth says we did it. And the first thing I thought was the line from
Spoke too soon.
Zootopia, where Nick Wilde says, I may have to rescind that victory toot toot.
Yeah.
No, you're not out of the woods yet. So
they're kind of chased through, and Kara's trying to swerve to miss the TIE fighter fire, and there's 4 of them chasing them, through through kind of a cavern. I guess what I'm about to say it. So they're kind of weaving their way through, trying to dodge it, and Grief is able to take one of them out.
Yeah, it's like a canyon. Yeah.
Yeah, canyon. There we go. That's what, not cavern, canyon.
Job. Yeah, he does a good job.
But there's 3 more that they have to deal with, and they finally get out into the open, and you're like, oh man, they're able to dodge them.
Yeah, this is so great.
And all of a sudden, the triumphant music. Every time this plays, I want to jump off of my chair where it's dun 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 dun. That music plays. I just want to jump right out of my chair and applaud because it's always associated with some awesome moment in the show.
Yes, it is. And I love it. And just a kudos again. Let's say, what was the guy's name?
Ludwig Göransson.
Ludwig Göransson for the score, guys. Oh my gosh, the score for The Mandalorian is wonderful. I love the music for The Mandalorian. I think it's Star Wars-esque.
Yes.
But it is all Mandalorian.
Yes, it is.
And I'm like you. I love it when they da 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 da. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's every time that plays, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Yes, you're ready to celebrate.
So they're all, they're headed as fast as they can, away from these Imperial TIE fighters, and they're almost to safety. And but they're in peril. The good guys are, about to be blown up
on the run.
And what happens?
The Razor Crest flies in, and there's 3. Remember, there are still 3 of the TIE fighters pursuing them, and they all kind of split off. And there's one that goes down the middle. The one that goes straight ahead. Probably, I'm guessing they probably flew past them in order to be able to they know that they're headed that direction. They need to go that way, and so they're looking to head them off. And then that one that flies right over the top of the Marauder gets blown up by none other than the Razor Crest. So the all the triumphant music plays, and Mando takes out the TIE fighter. The secret base is blown up. Mando chases down. Yeah, it's almost like the Superman theme. Yeah, Mando's come to save the day. Yeah, that's a perfect analogy in comparison. But Mando goes and he chases down the other two X-wings and blows them up too, and it's hilarious because I'm literally I know what the child feels like, where he's got his and he's cheering. And so I'm doing the same thing at home, little buddy. But he, and Mando's shooting them all down, and he's celebrating with his arms up in the air. And it's funny too because he's holding the little pack of the macarons, and so anyway, they the child's giggling and everything, and finally they he finished he's done taking out the TIE fighters, and Mando says something like, not bad, huh, or something like that, and then the child throws up blue goo from the macarons that he'd eaten. Oh
gosh! And Mando immediately goes to wipe his mouth,
dabbing it up.
Cool. It is
just like great. A little baby spitting up, but anyway, it was really funny. And so Mando takes him out. Cara and Grief and Mithral all watch. From the ground level as Mando takes care of business, and they're cheering too. It's a great moment, very triumphant. And so Mando starts to dab up the goo and everything, and he gets well wishes from Grief, but Mando says, "Hey, I've got to go to." Yeah, Daryl says, "Got some onboard maintenance to do." talking about Mando says that about the child throwing up, but Mando gets well wishes from Grief. Mando says, "I got to go to Corvus. I've got to take care of other business to attend to." And then it cuts to an X-wing pilot. Interrogating. This is the X-wing pilot from the passenger episode. That was not Dave Filoni, but the other one.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that character off the top of my head, but he's interrogating Grief Karga about Mando's whereabouts, and talks about logs and everything, and Grief just kind of brushes him off and says, if I find anything out, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yeah, very, very. He's very patronizing to the official. Well, what am I trying to say here? He he's got his legs, he's got his feet propped up on his desk. And I said, and he says, well, what about, he mentions the Mandalorian. And he said, I didn't say, Grief says, I didn't say anything about a Mandalorian, and he mentions, the tracker says, tracker, and of course it cuts over to the Mithral, and the Mithral's kind of, giving him the eye. And after the guy leaves, Grief says, "What?"
Captain Carson Teva. It's Paul Sun Hyung Lee.
There we go.
Is he's a comedian.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he Grief Karga kind of gives him the runaround and enough to kind of escort him out and send him on his way. And the Mithral kind of gives.
Anything else, I'll let you know. Should you get out this way, get out this far again, because they're pretty far. Navarro's pretty far out.
They're on the outer rim,
on the fringes there. So
and the X-wing pilot stops. Captain Carson Teva stops to talk to Cara Dune, and he says, "Hey, from what your records indicate, you're quite the fighter, and we could use somebody like you."
Town, he takes note that Cara has definitely cleaned up the town. So,
she tells him, I'm not a joiner, Blue, and it's funny, she's throwing food to the fire otter creature that she had befriended.
Now a pet, and is never going to leave her alone. But Carson Teva, Captain Carson Teva, the X-wing pilot, does bring up Alderaan, and that was Cara Dune's home planet.
and he said that he served there.
Endears her to me even more because, of course, that's
Leia's home planet.
Home planet.
Yep.
So, yeah, and he talks to her. He talks to her. Pretty hard. About you could. We've got to have. He says, we can do this. We can clean this up, but we've got to have local support. And he's obviously offering her, a position as, an imperial official.
And it shows you too. This discussion kind of shows you why.
No.
It shows you why Kara really despises the Empire. To think that you lost your home planet, and she says she lost everyone. He asked if she lost anyone. She said she lost everyone.
Yeah.
So he leaves that new Republic badge there for her.
Yeah.
And basically just saying
offer stands.
Yeah.
Offer stands, and he does. He says, I fought on Alderaan. And so he knows something of Kara. He knows something of her, of her reputation, obviously. And, he kind of tugs on her sentiments there and her hatred for the Empire and what they did to her planet. They destroyed Alderaan with the Death Star.
Testing it.
To make an example. They were trying to, of course, extract the location of the rebel base from Princess Leia. And it was her home planet, and they destroyed it with the Death Star. So, Kara has lost a lot, and that's one reason I think that she is in the line of work that she has been in for so long. Let's see, Russ. I think this will set up the end where Kara will be able to call in the cavalry to fight the Empire at the end series. More foreshadowing. Yeah, that is it.
Poor Garmy.
Poor Garmy? Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I think you may be onto something there. To think that they may have some New Republic backup would really help. Would help a ton, because you're going to take over the remnants of the Empire. You're going to need some help.
Good point.
And so it cuts to, goes from that interaction with the Captain Carson Teva and Kara to all of a sudden we see an officer on an Imperial light freighter receiving a transmission from that repairman creature, the red creature that worked on the Razor Crest. And he put a tracking beacon on the Razor Crest, and you see the Imperial officer go and talk to none other than Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
And so we see Moff Gideon. He asks if the Mandalorian still has the asset, and they confirm that he does. And he ends the episode with "We will be ready." Whenever that interaction comes,
it cuts to this rows and rows of the Dark Troopers, which are a new
super soldiers
production of scum and villainy to the episode, and they're called Dark Troopers, and so that not only are they tracking Mando's ship, but they are definitely going after the child again. So it ends. It's a great episode. Lots of great action.
It's great to see the characters from season 1.
Oh yeah. It ends. It's just hard to say everything that you love about this series because there's so many great pieces to it. The characters are all excellent. It's well written. I have totally enjoyed, especially the next few episodes which have dropped. Got a new episode, of course, coming early in the morning. And so I just can't say enough about what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have done with this.
And all the other directors that have, there have been so many directors that have contributed to this show.
Howard, we love the episodes that she's directed, and again, Carl Weathers directed this episode. So they just have, it's no wonder with all the amazing talent that they have on the directing team and, the whole, kudos to the whole crew of the
Mhm.
Mandalorian, because obviously they have some amazing everything is amazing, and so they put out this amazing product for us
Yep.
that is the best thing, that in my opinion it's the best piece of Star Wars that we've gotten since the first three,
Yeah.
since New Hope.
For sure, since Revenge of the Sith, and
It
in
is.
live action, that says.
It is. It really
I
is.
mean, we've got some good animated content, and obviously, I haven't delved much into the books, but in terms of on-screen product, it's for sure, hands down, in my opinion, the best action that we've gotten since Revenge of the Sith, if not Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, this is a movie. Oh yeah, series tend to carry on further than their audience tolerates.
Yeah.
They may not.
Hopefully,
be
they have a direction.
Yeah.
And here's my thing. Let them tell their story.
Yes.
And I hope that they are not. I want them to tell it, as big or as small as they want to go. I want them to tell their story in its entirety. I hope that they're not pressured to alter the story, to stretch things out. I hope that just give them the reins and leave them alone.
Exactly.
And as long as they have an end goal in mind, and they're pursuing that end goal, and they get us there, I leave them alone and let them do their thing, because they're killing it right now.
The series, again, we've talked about this, and there have been so many rumors, of course, that we're all aware of the spinoffs. The series is so ripe for spinoffs, and we know that they have, that they have some other things in the till, if you will, for Star Wars. This is such a huge hit. I do not see them ending this series anytime soon. As long as they're on a good track with it. They're coming up with with material that's as amazing as what they've given us so far. Just trucking, man. It's like I've always said. I stood in line to see A New Hope as a child. I stood in line to see
1977.
1977. I would have been 12 years old, and I remember when that movie came out. I was part of that. I was blessed to be a part of that. I remember the hype. It was just amazing. So, and I've always told you, William, if they put out a Star Wars movie, I'm going.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm a Star Wars fan. I've been hooked. I've loved sci-fi since I was a child. And if they put out Star Wars content, guys, I'm going to go, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, even with all the criticisms and belly aching, and I think some people just like to criticize because criticisms are more interesting to read or listen to or whatever. But in the final analysis, I feel like Star Wars fans are gonna consume Star Wars material, whatever. If it's animated, if it's movies, if it's a series, if it's books, I don't care what it is. We love it. We can't get enough of Star Wars. It's a cultural icon, and this series has done nothing but renew our original love for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take on it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I completely agree. It's phenomenal. I hope Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni get to tell the story they want to tell in its entirety, and that they're not pressured to stretch it out, or just let them tell the story they want to tell. And if they want to tell other stories, go ahead. Like you said, it's prime for spinoffs. So there are a lot of fantastic characters out there in the Star Wars universe that a lot of fans would love to see and know more about. So we'll see. But I think
we'll see what they can do with it. But at this point, I am loving it. Mm-hmm. I am absolutely loving this series. I'm loving the characters in the next couple.
Oh, the next two episodes are awesome, and I know tomorrow's episode's going to be awesome. Like there's what, 2 more episodes? I think is it the 24th, the last? I'm trying to remember. Is it 2 or 3 more episodes left?
What episode are we on?
Let's see. Okay, yeah. So tomorrow's episode, and I think the 18th is the season finale.
Yeah. So we've got just a little, a couple more to go, and I think they'll end with a bang. I think they'll, keep giving us some good content. I'm excited to see what they come up with. So yeah. Thanks, Daryl.
Thanks, Daryl.
Appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna keep watching it, and I'm currently finishing up. We're not finishing up. I don't know how close I am to the end actually. Rebels. I'm watching Rebels. I watched the Clone Wars. I'm currently watching Rebels, and all that gives you even more background. So y'all back up, especially the Clone Wars. Highly recommend the Clone Wars again. Also, guys, we did want to give a shout out. He's not in the chat. One of our great ghost hosts, moderators.
Yeah, Mike Wheeler.
Mike Wheeler. We absolutely wanted to give a shout out to Mike Wheeler. He just, and I'm going to drop a link.
Hey, there's Mike. He said, great stream. I've been listening in Ninja Mode.
Okay, great. Well, we wanted to give a shout out to you, Mike, because Mike just put out a video on his channel for the first one in a long time. And so I put a link to his channel in the chat. Get over there and give Mike a follow. He's got some new material over there. And if you've noticed, I'm sure most of us have noticed who see Mike on a regular basis, his new logo, which is really and it was designed by the guys at one of the guys from Pepper Tree Villa. So yeah, it was really, really great to see that, Mike, and we're excited about that for you. Reflections are short. There you go. Thanks for dropping that. So cool.
So yeah, anything else you wanted to mention as we wrap it up, Mom?
I can't think of anything else. Guys, join us on Tuesday nights for our regular Hitchhiker chat, which is 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. And I'm hopefully going to get a video dropped on Saturday. I'm really hoping to get working on some Christmas content for you. And hopefully sometime Saturday we'll drop that. So yeah, first posting on YouTube in over 13 years. Well, you're overdue. We're glad to see it. Yeah, congrats on that, Mike. We appreciate it.
Real quick note, in other Mandalorian news, there was a pre-order that dropped for a Mandalorian Ambin sniper rifle blaster. It's a Nerf blaster. And so that recently dropped. I'm not sure if you could still pre-order it. You could pre-order it through Amazon whenever it dropped, I think on Monday. But I don't know if that's still available for pre-order. Price tag's a little hefty, but Nerf guns seem to be getting more expensive as time goes on. But it's really cool looking. It's a little over 4 feet long. The Nerf blaster is, but it's basically a Nerf replica of Mando's blaster, a sniper rifle.
Yeah, so that's going to sell out, guys. Yeah, definitely. That's going to sell out. But take a look for that if you.
But yeah, so make sure to tune in for our Tuesday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern Hitchhiker chat.
And then we also will be chilling with Pete McDevitt on his show this coming Wednesday night. I believe that's at 6 p.m. Central. So we're really looking forward to that. And on being on Chill with Pete. That's a special invitation. We absolutely love Pete McDevitt. And so Wednesday night, guys, we will be chilling with Pete. Not the hot seat, but chilling. So.
Like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you enjoyed today's video, if you enjoy our channel. Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Or you can email us at hitchhikingbones@gmail.com. Big shout out to everybody in the stream today. Shout out to Aunt Joy. Shout out to BDF. Shout out to Daryl Cersei, Tia McNeil DCS, Elena K808, Mickey Sightings, What in the World with Russ, Texas Family Camping, Diz Our Dream, One Stop Mouse, Monarch Moments, and AJC Magic TV. If I missed you, I'm sorry for that, but hopefully you'll tune in next week or in our Hitchhiker chat, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you then.
Yeah, absolutely. We love to see you guys. We love these lives to just to get together with you and new friends who may be coming into the channel. Welcome. We appreciate you spending your time with us, but we enjoy it. We're loving again, just spending time with you. And thanks, Mike. And thanks to our ghost hosts, as always.
Big shout out to our ghost host.
We love you guys. So
shout out to everybody watching today in the chat and everybody that'll watch on the replay too.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. So leave us a comment below and let us know you're here on this particular episode. And especially if you're new to the channel, welcome. We so appreciate you guys. And Texas Family Camping, our new friends, we appreciate you guys for being here so much too. So thanks for popping in.
All right. Yeah, this is the way. We have spoken. Thanks again, everyone. And please, as always,
till the spire.
Hurry back. Till the spire.
Till the spire.